one more time, welcome to the second part of the webinar series. Like the last year, we will have 6 really exciting presentations. These are real-world examples, and it's really valuable that we can learn from practitioners, learn from people who are making efforts to make cultural institutions more inclusive and accessible every day in their work. Some majority of examples here are actually from the Shift publication. It's a free publication that you can download on the Shift website. Apart from reading the publication as a document, you can also listen to it as an audiobook, because we used one of the Shift AI tools to read the text. And this tool is called Speech Emotion Recognition Model, SER model. It's developed by the company Audering, which is a partner in our project. And the development of this tool is really a major step forward in making artificial speech more emotionally expressive and more natural. So our colleagues have been recognized for their work, and you can read more about that on the Shift's social media post, which was the last post. I will not talk more about the Shift project because I know that one of my colleagues has a short introduction. And actually, in today's presentation, we will have 2 of the Shift partners presenting their work related to, how to make culture heritage institutions more accessible for disabled people. The first on our agenda is Ioana, Cornelia, Cristina, Crihană. Sorry if I did not pronounce your surname properly. She will talk about public libraries as a key factor for the inclusion of vulnerable groups, presenting an examples of some concrete activities that Romanian libraries are doing for disabled people. If you are ready, Ioana, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Aida. Thank you for your kind introduction. My name is Ioana Crihană. I represent AMBPR, the National Association of Public Librarians and Libraries in Romania, full partner in Shift Horizon project. First of all, it is a real pleasure for me to be with you today at this webinar organized by BMN. And in my presentation entitled Public Libraries, Key Factors for the Inclusion of People Belonging to Vulnerable Groups, I intend to share with you some insights and examples of good practices on how public libraries in Romania develop and implement accessibility solutions for vulnerable people. If it's possible, I will try to share my presentation, or I think that is not possible from my side.
Okay, let me.
Okay. Full screen if it's possible. Thank you.
Is it full screen?
Now, yes. Thank you. So, AMBPR is the most important professional association of librarians in Romania, bringing together over 3,300 active members from across the country. Through its 41 branches, our association, in short AMBPR, supports librarians in developing innovative services with the aim to facilitate the social inclusion of these disadvantaged persons and communities. Our mission is to transform public libraries into a sort of accessibility hubs, offering adapted solution for all users, regardless of the challenges they face. Next slide, please.
I did. Well, maybe my internet is slow.
Thank you. Public libraries play an increasingly important role in fostering social inclusion, particularly for individuals with different disabilities and those belonging to certain vulnerable groups or communities. A major factor in transforming libraries in hubs for cultural accessibility has been the development of strategic partnerships, and I'm referring to different collaborations between our association, MBPR, our library members, and also some governmental institutions, NGOs, and private sector entities specialized in assistive technologies. At the core of these efforts are assistive technologies and digital solutions integrated into library services to remove barriers to information access. Next slide, please. Aida, please.
I did. It's only that my internet is slow.
Ah, okay. I will continue to explain a little bit. National Library of Romania, because I will referring to this large and important entity in Romania, as a leading institution in the preservation and dissemination of national heritage, has taken significant steps to make its collection and services accessible to people with visual and hearing impairments. Recognizing that people with disabilities are an integral part of the library community, National Library of Romania has continuously developed its initiatives in order to promote barrier-free access to its cultural elements and its cultural resources and collections. A good example is digital library of the National Library of Romania. It's about a large-scale digitization project that adapted, customized essential educational materials such as handbooks and some school bibliographies in order to support students with visual impairments to continue studying different cultural fields. Another example is the project entitled The Sound of Page. It's about an initiative founded by the Orange Foundation. Okay, it's okay. This project practically allows users to access a secure electronic catalog and download documents in accessible formats. Another inclusion intervention on behalf of the National Library of Romania is about growing digital collections, because the National Library of Romania now offers approximately 500,000 titles, specially customized and made accessible for users with different disabilities. And in addition, our national library in Romania represents a knowledge center and also a methodological forum for the rest of public libraries in our public system. And in this quality, in this position, the National Library of Romania provides guidance to other libraries, public libraries, and educational institutions on how to create accessible environments and resources. One of the most important initiatives in this regard was a DREAM project carried out with the support of Orange Foundation. And during this initiative, some reading rooms within the National Library of Romania were equipped with computers, with screen reading and text magnification software. These tools and technologies allow visually impaired users to navigate digitally, read text through voice playback, and access information in real time. In addition to these very customized software solutions, the National Library of Romania also provides independent assistive devices and equipment. I'm referring to a workstation with screen readers, special scanning systems which transform printed text into audio or enlarged content, some closed circuit televisions for displaying printed documents in a visually adapted format, reading machines which vocally reproduce the content of a certain printing text, and some tactile devices for graphic documents which provide tactile access to different maps, diagrams, images, and so on. And also the National Library of Romania has a DAISY machine that support our vulnerable users to have access to different written resources. Next slide, please. Now I will refer to another important institution from our public library system. It's about Bucharest Metropolitan Library, or Metropolitan Library of Bucharest, BMB. This is its acronym. Is a network of public libraries subordinated to the Bucharest City Hall And this entity is in charge with providing access to information and reading for citizens of Bucharest, the capital of Romania. BMB has 31 branches and offers its users a wide range of services, including services customized to the needs of people with visual impairments. A good example of Metropolitan Bucharest Library commitment to inclusion is the Sound Library for the blind and visually impaired persons. That is a project launched in 2001 with the support of European Commission and also with help of British Council Bucharest. This initiative represented a pioneering initiative in the culture of accessibility in Romania. And in recent years, Metropolitan Library Bucharest has continued to modernize its infrastructures for users with different disabilities, developing a state-of-the-art recording studio equipped with professional voice processing software, and this initiative was financially supported by Lions Clubs Bucharest. Next slide, Aida, please. Sound Library practically demonstrates that technology can radically transform the experience of visually impaired users, giving them autonomy in exploring the world of information. This initiative was possible with the support of Romanian Association of the Blind People, and also with the support of AMBPR and county libraries, because year by year, Metropolitan Library of Bucharest tried to ensure the national distribution of audiobooks, thus increasing the impact of this service at national level. Next slide, please. On the other hand, strategic partnerships play a key role in developing efficient and sustainable services. Cooperation with organizations specialized in accessibility technologies, and also the expansion of these initiatives is a permanent concern of MBPR and Metropolitan Library of Bucharest. Next slide, please. Now I will refer a little bit to a very specific use case within our Horizon project Shift. During the Shift to Inclusion workshop held at the National Library of Romania on May 2024, AMBPR, in its capacity of use case provider within the Shift consortium, presented participants belonging to different vulnerable groups with short videos illustrating the main shift technological solutions, together with some explanations to clarify the usefulness of these applications in public libraries. During the Shift to Inclusion workshop, participants had the opportunity to watch videos, ask questions, and formulate specific requirements, reflecting their individual needs. During this workshop, AMBPR had the occasion to analyze the interest of people with different disabilities in exploring shift technological solutions, and we succeeded to collect relevant perspectives from our participants with various types of impairments: visual, auditory, locomotor, and also persons belong to autism spectrum. These interactions provided us a deeper and profound understanding of the needs of our beneficiaries, strengthening the future impact of technologies developed to facilitate access to cultural heritage. For instance, people with impairments, visually impairments, highlighted the need for detailed audio description and tactile technologies, while participants with hearing impairments emphasized the importance of clear subtitles and sign language interpretations. The participants with locomotor difficulties that attended this Shift to Inclusion workshop highlighted in their turn the need for accessible spaces and digital solutions that minimize physical movement, and the people who belong to the autism spectrum consider that they need some designs and solutions that reduce anxiety and facilitate navigation and understanding the content. But now we are in progress with this assessment of our vulnerable library service users, and I'm confident that in the next phase we will gather new impressions from our beneficiaries. I will stop here, and thank you for your patience in following me, and I stay tuned for any questions from you if is the case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ioana.
Welcome.
It was longer than 10 minutes, but it's because you are a network of so many museums, and there are so many great examples. You just showed us some of them in terms of, growing digital collections, getting new equipment for digitization of collections, promoting what is already there in terms of services for different groups of persons with disabilities. And it's really a highly worth the praise. Thank you, all the libraries who are thinking about, different formats and different needs. And especially I like that you used the last slide to remind us about the importance of getting feedback. So the importance of, communicating with associations of disabled people on what type of needs can be fulfilled with our services, and how do we connect our services to the needs and listening to associations of disabilities. Did you formalize any partnerships? Do you have any comments on this partnership with the different associations?
Both MBPR and our county libraries, library members, are implementing different activities in terms of strengthen our partnerships and consolidate year by year these collaborations. We are focused especially on collaboration with local communities, because it's very important for us. MBPR has more than 80% members in rural areas all over the country. We also organize some events, workshops dedicated to vulnerable groups, focusing on accessibility topics, assistive solutions, and other relevant topics. And we have a large series of partnerships with different NGOs and governmental entities. We are collaborating with specialized schools, supporting organizations who are in contact with people with special needs, different community NGOs who are active in this field. And we are also in charge with creating different educational and promotion materials made accessible for these very specific groups. I'm referring to flyers, posters, and different content materials, very important, made accessible to these persons with special needs. We actively use digital platforms and social media to promote our activities and to provide information about our programs and services. And we are working based on volunteering, because for us volunteers are very important to spread our messages.
Yes, thank you very much. I know that this is such a short time, but this is also a teaser, an invitation for everyone to read your article in the publication, because there are more information in the article. And because of the lack of time, I would like to thank you one more time and to continue with our presentations. We have eager two colleagues from the History Museum of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Elma Hodžić and Amar Karapuš. They want to talk, how do we adapt museums in times of crisis? They will particularly look into how to maintain to be inclusive and accessible during the pandemic. But unfortunately, the crisis is ongoing, and we can talk about so many different crises which are, hitting all the heritage institutions. Elma and Amar are long-time professionals within the field of inclusion and accessibility. But apart from that, Elma is a curator, actively involved in revitalizing the museum through programs that encourage dialogue and reinterpreting historical narratives. And Amar is a museum advisor specialized in the history of the Second World War in the former Yugoslavia. The floor is yours, and I will be timing 10 minutes.
Thank you, Aida, for this lovely introduction. Dear colleagues, it's such a pleasure to participate to this network and to share our experiences. Actually, we have been following the webinar as a group, because it's not just the two of us. The museum team has so many amazing curators that are contributing. So let me show some of them are here. Sorry, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that our tasks are actually that we work together, and that it's actually the museum team that is in charge of storytelling in the museum, but yeah, we do everything together. One of the main, we will actually start the story by trying to explain the specificum of the museum. The museum was established after the end of the Second World War, went through different transformations, and this year we are marking an important anniversary. The museum is 80. So this year we will conduct a specific program, and I really hope that some of the lessons that we've learned through our professional experience regarding inclusion will be included in our practices. So one of the main issues, as Aida stated previously, is the museum space. So we wanted to give you an image of the museum in real space, meaning that the museum now has so many difficulties in terms of accessibility. Now we have managed to replace the stairs. We have some improvised wooden construction that is helping us to survive, but hopefully we will manage to restore the building and open it physically for different types of audience. So our major problem is actually physical accessibility, but today our aim, and in the article we wanted to talk more about accessibility in terms of the content that we are trying to provide. So there has been a couple of examples, of inclusion projects in the museum in the pre-pandemic era, as we stated in the article. One of our first examples is actually the tactile area of the museum, and we have been, it was also a project which was supported by Balkan Museum Network, and we are pleased that the project is still there. It's still in the museum physical space, and we have been using it for years now. So we produced replicas and adopted some objects for the tactile area and developed different follow-up programs in order to work with our audience. But also one of the examples, also supported by Balkan Museum Network, is our Children Corner. It's actually a narrative about the museum, which help us to include scholars and youngsters in the museum, and we have been adopting. So this project was developed, I think, 7 or 8 years ago, and we have been reshaping it and repurposing it. It's an amazing platform to work on through these years. But what actually happened with the museum is when, in terms of content, the crisis that we were dealing with during the pandemics actually helped us to restructure the museum content and to develop new stories, but we were dealing with so many challenges during the pandemic era. The true task was how to make this museum alive during the pandemic, and we have developed one platform which was called Religioscope even before the pandemic, and we have been using it in that period as a role model for developing a couple of other projects. And it's my pleasure that my colleague Amar will address you now, trying to explain what is the mission of these platforms. In the last couple of years, we have developed so many different stories in digital format, and I'm really glad that Amar will give you more information about the things that we do. So Amar, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elma. It's always a pleasure to working with you. And also, I must say it, I really don't like this webinar because this is something which is killed my natural charisma, but it is how it is. So basically, I will start it with the presentation. And so I hope so it will be interesting like this part Elma was presented. Now, we are decided to create this digital platform because we want to have the greater visibility, encouraging the young people, especially the young people, to do critically and analytically thinking about the past, and also using these platforms like the educational tools. Because in the beginning, we didn't be aware how much these tools is basically have potential. A little bit later, we are basically became aware the potential of these tools. And so basically we are starting to working with them really, really, really intensively. So why the digital platforms? Which is the main goals of digital platform? Digital platform made the museum more accessible for the people with disability by providing alternative ways of experience of exhibit. That is means like some topics, some themes, which is basically be represented in the museum spaces. They are not having enough attention. So basically sometimes we have possibility to add some new information, etc. Digital platform also support multi-language visitors because we have different options for the different language, and so basically it's always be quite pleasure to have something on your own language. Also, I am really struggling with my English, so I understand that kind of problems. Digital platforms provided access to the people who cannot physically enter to the museum, allowing to explore the exhibit anywhere in the world in the real times. But also, it is quite important to know that is always digital platform is not something what you have opportunity to see in life, but we are trying to have that kind of virtual museum which is basically be accessible for everyone. Also, they are accommodated a different way of learning preferences. And also, they are basically give you the different formats. Sometimes it's audio format, it's much better. Sometimes it's video, it is better. So basically, they allowed us to targeting some people who are basically, some of us is enough to one time to read, to memorize everything. Sometimes it's always have that kind of visual aspects. And when they heard the stories about something, there is always be better, and they are basically can learning much more through that process. Providing the multiple levels of detail on digital platform. That is basically something you always have official narrative about something, and you basically giving that official narratives because you must everything we can say it, check it twice, because this is something which is history, like science, that tell us to do. But sometimes you find really, really interesting stories who are behind that items, and so basically you have opportunity to tell that kind of stories, and that is most interested part of this digital platform by me, for example. And also they are allowed to much easier access to the some topics. Sometimes you are never ever interested for the full digital platform, but you always can find something which is connecting with you. It can be architecture, or can be some spaces or places where which you originally come from, or something like that. Also some topics which is not really often be presented in the real space. And so this is something which we trying to show it to you. One more part, please. Do you see the space? Oh, okay. And now I must
We would now like to show something concrete to you. This is how the platforms actually look like.
And I must just turning on the program, because without the program is not be quite good. So when we speaking of
So this is the platform that we have developed. You can access stories.
they are adapted in English language, so that's the reason why.
Może zasadu.
Just okay.
We are just now going through these platforms. I would like to show.
Maybe you can share the links to the platforms, even though
yes.
they are on your website, so everyone can.
This is just one example, and then we can actually send you the links. You can go through it, experience everything on your own, and we are looking forward to hear your comments and ideas, how we can actually open the platforms on a higher level in the future.
Can I just add one more thing? Because we are always, I already mentioned it, check it twice. So we are decided to sending these kind of links, and with the, of course, the professionals, and that is somebody who work in the Center for the Youth and Partially Sighted People, the Anđelković, which is told us we need to little bit improve this kind of access to the digital platform. So they are suggested to using the JARS program, but we are basically using something which is quite similar. That is the NVDI program, which is help us to also every contains and workshop and exhibitions basically be accessible for the blind and partially sighted people, because they have it like this guiding through the desktop, etc. That is something which is we must do, because the accessible technology is something which is quite important for us. And also, if you're visiting the museum, also all content you have on your hands. That is be all for us. Elma, do you want to add something?
No.
I mean, for thematic digital platforms, it was a lot of work. So congratulations. And I see there is already quite a lot of content. And Amar said that new information is being added and the platforms are evaluated. Just now, you are now asking the colleagues to have a look and read the stories. And I think what is really excellent is this accommodating different learning preferences, and that people can do non-linear browsing and enjoy different formats as audio, video, and in that way you can stay at your home, so you don't have a problem of physical access, but you are able to learn and educate yourself about the collection and culture heritage. Does anyone have a question to our colleagues? You can ask the questions also at the end of the webinar. We will have a little bit of time for the overall discussion. If not, I would like to thank Amar and Elma for their continuous work, for their dedication to access and inclusion, and because the examples they showed you, they are more than 10 years old. So this is really a learning journey of tests and trials and doing a lot of different activities that will improve audience development and enable everyone to feel welcome in the space of museum. Thank you. I will move to our next speaker. It's our colleague Klaudia Klára from the Hungarian National Museum. She will talk about inclusivity, accessibility, and usability in the making, shaping the museum with the help of stakeholder visitor. So she will present the Semmelweis Museum and the efforts how to make it more accessible through the Shift Horizon project. Klaudia is a grant consultant in the Hungarian National Museum. She's overseeing international cooperation projects with a background in history, linguistics, and digital education. She has led different EU project initiatives on innovation, inclusion, and education. Klaudia, the floor and 10 minutes is yours.
Thank you, Aida. Thank you for the nice introduction. Can you see my screen properly?
You can put it in the full screen in the presentation mode.
I put it into full screen already.
Maybe it takes some time, but
yeah, maybe it takes some time. Let me know if it's still not there. So thank you for the nice introduction. It was nice to hear a little bit of reminder about myself, what I'm doing. In fact, so yes, as you mentioned, I'm overseeing some projects at the Hungarian National Museum, which is now part of a bigger network. And as this big network consists of a lot of museums, the one that I'm representing here today, the Semmelweis Museum of the History of Medicine, called SHOM, is going to be the star of my presentation today. So I'm representing them, and unfortunately my colleague who has had a very big role in what I'm trying to share with you today couldn't make it today, so I'm adding her contact details at the end of my presentation as well. And you can also turn to her with some of the methodological questions you might have after my presentation. So I hope you see my presentation now in the presentation mode.
Because but you can continue because it is visible enough, at least for me.
Okay.
If you want to try again, maybe you can escape, but this is fine as well.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a bit confusing because I see the full slide, but yeah, anyway. So in the introduction, Aida, you also said that some of the participants of this webinar are already familiar with Shift, and some of the participants are not. So just to balance between these two levels of knowledge, I will mention some things about the project. So you can see the long, quite difficult name, my slide, Metamorphosis of Cultural Heritage into Augmented Hypermedia Assets for Enhanced Accessibility and Inclusion. So it's quite a name, quite a title, and I'm trying to break down what we are doing under this serious name. So this is a Horizon Europe project that runs from 2022 to 2025. So finishing in half an hour, sorry, half a year, unfortunately, because it has been quite a journey, and we feel that we need to do a lot still on the way. So this project aims to support the application of digital transformation strategies to enhance accessibility in museums. This is a big word, digital transformation strategies, but in fact, we try to think strategically in this project, and not only develop the technical tools and the technical background to enhance the visitor experience, but also make it very participatory and very strategically planned for our visitors. So this is what I'm going to talk about. today. This project employs AI, machine learning, multimodal data processing, haptic interfaces, and VR. And the final aim and goal of the project is to integrate all these tools into one platform that can help on one side the museums to create accessible cultural heritage experiences, and on the other side the visitors to experience these technical developments, and based on the technical developments, the curatorship of the museum.
Can you, Klaudia, just exit because maybe there are two windows open. We have a comment in the chat that participants cannot see the presentation. So just to try it again in the full screen mode, you might have two screens.
Yeah, it can happen. In fact, when I joined I'm trying now again while I'm talking. So now, can you see it?
No, I've seen you clicked on but it's still just showing the. Maybe you didn't do the full screen. I mean, when you are sharing, do the whole screen.
Yeah, I did. It's really confusing. I will do it again. Okay. Now, nothing.
No, it just stays in them. But you can zoom the slides. There is 80% now, but you can zoom them.
Okay, so this.
No, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help. Yeah. So you cannot see my slides at all, or you can just.
We have, but not in the full screen. You can maybe continue talking and stop sharing, and I'll try.
Okay. Okay. Please use the latest versions that I just sent like 10 minutes ago. Okay. Thank you.
I don't have the latest version. I have from 106.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So I stopped sharing, and I will continue to talk. Sorry for that. For me, it's like I see that I shared and it's full slides and everything is working for me. Yeah, so we were there talking about the technical background and also the methodology of the project. So basically, we are trying to use the nothing about us without us principle, which means that no decision should be done without the involvement of a specific target group. So we try to thoroughly understand the needs of users and stakeholders, and based on that, we make decisions that can be passed to the developers to continue working on the technological inventions that tools that we are trying to implement. It's very important for us to involve different stakeholder groups. And in the case of the Semmelweis Museum of the History of Medicine, in short, Semmelweis Museum, it's three target groups. People with limited sight, people with limited hearing, and people living on the autism spectrum. So we are in contact with these target groups, and we are focusing on their needs in developing the technical tools. Yes. In the next slide, if you can, Ida, you can see this picture taken pretty much 1 year ago. Here you can see a workshop with people with hearing disabilities. You can see my colleague, whom I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, long hair, talking to the participants and starting the workshop, and you can see the sign language interpreter interpreting what she's saying, and you can see our director lurking in the left corner, listening to this workshop. So when we got to this point, and maybe Ida can switch to the next slide, we got halfway in the project. Thank you so much. We decided that we need to organize workshops where we can already show this draft technological developments to the target group, groups. So we invited and organized 3 workshops, 3 kind of corresponding workshops at SHOM, and we asked the participants to assess this kind of draft technological solutions. I have to tell you that the building of SHOM is a historic building. So we have, in fact, we have physical accessibility problems. Despite this, the museum is really committed to run inclusivity programs, and they are constantly working on solving these problems. It's not easy, and mostly it's about financing. However, they expanded their programs. They are inviting groups with different special needs. And the colleague whom I mentioned is constantly working on developing more and more educational activities, especially focusing on people living with disabilities. So in April, starting in April and going into June 2024, we had 3 workshops and the final kind of concluding workshop, and I'm going to talk about the key takeaways of these workshops in the next slide. And I must mention that we just started to run the next round of technological assessment workshops last week. I'm going to mention it as well. So 1 year ago, where we only could show the draft technologies of the participants, we already received just great, excellent feedback from them. We showcased the 5 shift technologies. You can see them on the slide. Image processing for artifact restoration, VR and haptic gloves, human-like text-to-speech translation, AI-powered descriptions, but they are customizable, and sound effects for visual artifacts, kind of soundscapes. All of them were presented either using some actual draft tools already developed by our developers, or videos of the technologies, and then we very meticulously collected the feedback of the target groups. So on spot, we were creating a very interactive workshop, and also we made interviews with the participants, and also semi-structured interviews, and also questionnaires we launched after the workshops. You can see in details what were the feedbacks of the participants, basically about visibility, about being the technology being controllable and adjustable, preferring natural sounding human voice over machine voice, adjustable text lengths, and so on. And also the participants welcomed the idea of having something happening and tangible in kind of interacting with artifacts, virtual artifacts. So In the next slide, Ida, if you might help me, thank you. I'm trying to conclude what we learned during these workshops. So even though we were in this space with a physical accessibility problem, we were focusing on let me say positive thinking and how we can still create inclusive and accessible experiences. We realized how important it is to have this customized engagement experience when you are there with the visitor living with a disability, and you can really can provide customizable help, assistance, and experience for this person. So this in-person engagement was very important. Flexibility was also crucial. We provided and passed on all the feedback to the technical developers, and they incorporated these feedbacks to the developments. And so we were very happy. On the other side, participants were also very happy because they expressed several times how important it is that we are doing these workshops in the participatory way. And they were very open and very clear about their needs. And so basically this cooperation was working very well, very smoothly, and in a very friendly, safe environment. I think not only participants but also our team enjoyed these workshops. In the publication that Ida mentioned by BMN, you can read all the very detailed feedback that we collected. I'm not going to talk about this today. What is important is that now we have the second round, as I mentioned earlier, the second round of workshops. So we are finishing the development of the tools, and we are providing this last-minute feedbacks. The latest workshop took place last week, and we will have 2 more on Monday and on Tuesday. And maybe next time I can talk about the developments of those workshops. Based on all these developments and the feedback, we will have an intervention exhibition at Šoms, Semmelweis Museum, in early June, starting in early June. So we will incorporate the digital tools and developments into an already existing exhibition on medical devices that is currently at display in Šom. These are tiny devices, and even with normal eyesight, it's very difficult to see them, very difficult to realize what they are, what they were meant to be. So we are looking very much for these tools to enhance them. For our target groups as well, and also for any visitors. Yes, we are very excited about this collaboration, and I have to add that these target group workshops developed into long-term commitment and long-term collaboration. So now Šom and the Mother Institute, the Hungarian National Museum, is working with some of these target groups on a long-term basis. We have, I don't know, commitments and contracts now to work together on accessibility in the upcoming years. So this is a very nice outcome of our work at Šom and in the Shift project. And I'm finishing now. I just need you to click 2 more times. Thank you. This is a beautiful picture. This was taken last week. For me, it's like perfect Renaissance picture. Just look at the colors and the light and this perfect triangle of the participants. And it was not intentional, of course. You can see strawberry in the middle, a service dog for one of the participants to the left, and my colleague Lily who is the soul and engine of all this cooperation. And I'm really sorry that she couldn't make it here today. But in this way, I also want to thank her work. Yeah, nothing else left. Then thank you for your attention. And in the version that we are going to send to you, maybe, Aida, the contact details of our team is there. So both mine and Lily's contact details. Thank you for attention. Sorry for this slide miniature version of my slides. From here, everything was perfect, and I was so happy. But I hope you could still get most of the information, and I'm available for further questions now or later on. Thank you.
Yes, we will share the PowerPoint presentations with the participants. And in Klaudia's presentation, we heard some of the really important words, such as a safe space and a commitment to collaborate long term, which I think are the best indicators of the quality of your work, that you are able to establish trust and that you are able to have a basis for this long-term process, because it's not a short run, it's a marathon that we are running here. I see no questions in the chat, and due to time constraints, if you are okay, I would like us to continue with presentations, because as I said, at the end we will have unless someone has a really urge to ask something, you can always unmute yourself and ask the question if you don't like to use the chat. I don't see any raised hands, so let's continue. We have our colleague Željko Anđelković. He's from Niš. He's going to talk about educational forms of Niš National Museum intended for persons with disabilities. It's also one of the examples that you can read in the publication. This session will highlight also something about long-term collaboration with the MARA Center for Social Care Service in Niš, and showcase workshop design to accommodate diverse abilities. Željko Anđelković is a cultural tourism expert and assistant professor at the University of Niš, Faculty of Science, Department of Geography and Tourism. He worked as a senior curator and a museum activist manager at the National Museum Niš for almost 10 years, longer, 11 years, from 2012 to 2023. Željko is with us, I think.
Hello, yes. Hello,
okay.
Greetings from Niš. Yes, I was working in the National Museum Niš more than 10 years, and now I'm assistant professor at the University of Niš. And in that period of time, from 2012 until 2023, my colleague Ivana Gruden-Milantijević, this is the masterpiece of her, and I, we were working together and in education sector. And we tried to organize some workshops connected with the people with disabilities. With all these problems that we have, we're trying to introduce our museum to them. And just a few sentences about the National Museum Niš. This is the fourth oldest museum in Serbia. It was established on the April 1st, 1933. And we have more than 40,000 artifacts in our museum, in collections of ethnography, ethnology, history of art, history, archaeology, and numismatic. And it is very good museum. I really could say that. More than 100,000 visitors per year we have every year. And approximately 50%, or to be precise, approximately 47% are foreigners. And 54% are domestic tourists. In domestic tourists, we have a lot of school groups because we are on that itinerary for all primary and grammar school in Serbia. And for the people from abroad, the most people are coming from the ex-Yugoslavia, and then generally from the Europe, because in the National Museum of Niš, we have one of the very important monument. It's School Tower, the unique monument in the world. dedicated to the 19th century. And also we have Mediana archaeological site, because in the niche, in the 3rd century was born Constantine the Great, so the Roman emperor who proclaimed Christianity as official religion by Edict of Milan. So we have a lot of more things in niche, but this is connected with museums. So please, could you share the presentation?
Leila has it, right?
Yeah, I said to Leila. Hello, Leila. Thanks. Okay, as you can see, this is really the masterpiece of my colleague, Ivana Gruden-Milentijević. She's still working in National Museum niche, and she's the senior curator, and she's the head of this educational department. Unfortunately, she's on her way to Amsterdam. She will be part of some program for education. And now I will tell you some basic things about this program that we did. So educational forums of Niš National Museum of intended for persons with disabilities. So please, the next one. I put some introduced here. The function of museum in society and the ways of promoting cultural heritage have changed over the time. So museums have become more and more open to the museum audience. And audience also changed. This is very, very important thing, in sense that they change way of visiting museum as well as a change spending time in museum. Sometimes you can stay all over the day in museum if you catch the moment and if there is an opportunity to have unique experience. And always when we talk about experience, we are talking in general about experience. And for the people with disabilities, it's very important that they have their own experience. For some of them, this is the first and unfortunately the last visiting of museum. And because of that, we have to catch the moment with them. And I put here, I highlighted this experience. This is the new word in some museums. Of course, it's not new word, it's 21st century. But I really believe in some museums in post-communism country as Serbia is, it is a new it's a new word, because a lot of people start first time to come to museum and to have some experience, not just to visit and to see artifacts, because today you can see all artifacts on the internet and it's nothing special if you don't have some story on behind, some story on the stage. So interpretation and presentation of museum collections have become inseparable part in definition of museum, from the collection, preservation, and professional processing of object. So interpretation, and we have to know who is our audience. So the next slide, please. I put this word here, segmentation of the audience. It's very important because we have to know who is in front of us. If the children, if the people with disabilities, if the adults, elder people, etc., etc. And it's very, very specific for these people with disabilities. So the way of presentation could be crucial for that people, involving people with disabilities in the functioning of the community and opening institution, as well as adapting programs to their capabilities, transforms museums into institutions that are accessible to everyone. Museums like a part of society and institution for everyone, so for all the people. Sometimes could be tricky how to present one part of collection or one story or one idea, but always curators and educators could find a way to do it. So preparation is first step, an idea, what we should promote and to whom and for whom. So this is just like some production questions, what, with whom, we have a budget or we don't have enough budget, we have an idea or don't we have an idea, we have people to work with us or we don't have people to work with us. So we start with some first programs it was September or October 2018, so the beginning of the school year in Serbia, so 1st of September. And it was the first Skype classes with the people from one school from the Sombor, so from the Vojvodina north part of Serbia. And it was okay, but you know, when you are talking, like I today talking to you, on Skype or online, it's not, you couldn't catch the moment, you couldn't catch the feels of all that people. It was okay, but we just start after that to think what we could do really in live presentation with the people from Niš. And we take one school from Niš for the people with the various disabilities, with ADHD, autism spectrum, low vision, etc., etc. And we start to develop some of our programs. And it was really tricky on the beginning, especially for Ivana, because she was the leader of that program, my colleague, because also we don't know enough about all these disabilities, about all these, we can say, some problems, in some way, problems, because we have to explain at first to ourselves what we should do, and then to explain to all these people. So we start to develop program, and the coronavirus was this moment when we start to Corona, we start to develop, and after Corona, when we reopen museum, we start to work with the people from Niš in person. And first, it was the World Day of the People with Down Syndrome. It's the beginning, I think, of the April, and it was really amazing experience at first for us, believe me, and I think that for all of them, because I think 99.9% of them were first time in museum in that period of time. We have one of our buildings are in the city center of the Niš, so it was easy for all of them to come. We took some taxis, we took some vans for them, and they really enjoyed. They start to painting something, to listen the music, to listen the poetry, because it was in the building of collection of our famous Serbian literature Sremac and Miljković, and it was really amazing. After that, when we talk with their educators, with their teachers, they said that they want to come again. And after a few months, they come again. Some of them come again, some of them come first time, and it was so good moments, so good vibes in museum in that period of time, because they were so happy that they have opportunity to tell you something, to ask you something, to share some their experience, to share some their private moments, to share some their private pictures that they paint in, not only in museum in that period of time, they just prepare for us because the educators told them that they are going to museum, etc., etc. So it was really, really amazing. So that inclusive programs are new generally in Serbia. In Niš specific, we are maybe 5-6 years. I'm not working at all in museum, but I know that my colleague still continue to work with all that people, and it's really good experience. Please, next slide. Yeah, you can see some pictures here. On the left side, this is in this collection of Branko Miljković and Stevan Sremac, famous Serbian writers. So they are here trying to do something with hands, trying to paint what they heard about that poetry, because we are just talking about the poetry, some poems we tell them. And in the second one, this is from one exhibition. It's ethnology exhibition in the gallery synagogue, ex-synagogue of the city of the Niš. Today it's a gallery, it's cultural monument of the Serbia. And they, in that space, they're trying to realize about all these artifacts from the history, what they are using during the past period of time. So after that visiting, they have to paint today, so the similar objects of daily life in 21st century. So it was also good educational work. With all educational work, my colleague Ioana is talking at first with their educators, and then she decide what she will do or not do, or what we know, and what we couldn't do in the moment, because as I told you, a lot of things are new for us. I think that there is one more slide. Yeah, I already talk about that. So it's new experience for all of us. Maybe there is just few interpreters and educators in Serbia which have good capacity for work with the people with disabilities. And I think that we need a lot of seminars, a lot of conference and educational programs for all people who want to be a part of museum educators. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Željko. And exactly 10 minutes.
Good.
I wanted to comment on the fact that you said that even though the museum is in the very center of the town, the 99.9% of people have never entered the museum.
Yeah, I'm talking about, about the people with the disabilities.
Yeah, I know, the Down syndrome that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And why do you think they never entered the museum?
I think that the one of the biggest problem is society, in sense that their educators think that there is no opportunity for them to come to museum. Even the museum for all these people are free of charge, of course, always. And generally we have politics in the city of Niš that for all people from Serbia, for ex-Yugoslavia, we can say, if you're coming to museum and say, okay, I really want to see museum collection, but I don't have money for the ticket, okay, you can go free. Because we are public museum, so we are state museum, we have our salaries. It's not depends about the number of the visitors.
Yes, I'm really happy that, as you said, that assistants usually do not know that there is something for different groups of persons with disabilities in the museum. So these outreach activities for us to be loud and tell them, please come, you are welcome.
Please come in.
There is something for you that we can offer,
of course,
that we can develop in partnership. I see in the participants list many of the colleagues who are working on this topic, but they are maybe shy to ask the question. I hope they will not be shy at the end. So please just share your own personal experience, like doubts or issues that you are dealing with, something that you would like us to jointly discuss. But until people get courage, I would like to say thank you, Željko, for all your work, and good luck on the learning journey and the path, because you said this is a new experience, and the new experience that is the good first step. Now you need events like this to connect to the colleagues, and I hope you will connect to everyone here.
Yeah, greetings from Niš, Aida, greetings to all my colleagues, and I hope that we will see in live, in person. Thanks.
Yes. Maybe in Zagreb, I use this opportunity to invite you to our annual conference that will happen in May.
Thank you so much. I am going now to the Göteborg. There is some program connected with cultural heritage management and presentation, and I will talk about the museum theater in tourism and how museum theater techniques could help us in tourism presentation.
Oh wow! Excellent.
Thank you so much.
If you have something to share,
Greetings.
do use the network to share. I want to welcome the next speaker, Derviš Hadžimuhamedović. He will present EVA project, which is Inclusivity and Visibility Actions for Sustainable Cultural Development. It's very interesting because it's a cross-border project between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro. Supported by different cultural actors. But not to steal away his slides, I will just say that Derviš Hadžimuhamedović is a project manager at the city of Sarajevo, Department of Sustainable Development. We are very happy to have also the public government institution that is working on making heritage institution more accessible. He's an archaeologist specializing in cultural heritage management. He coordinated the International Summer School Youth and Heritage since 2017. check out the program of the school. It's happening annually in the Stolac town in Herzegovina. Very highly recommended to everyone. And he's actively participating in international heritage conferences, including UNESCO and other World Heritage Committee meetings. Welcome, Derviš. The floor is yours. I hope you managed to say everything in 10 minutes. It's a challenging task.
Thank you very much, Aida. I tried to structure my presentation so it fits into 10 minutes, but please do let me know. I will try my best. Let me just share my presentation in the beginning. We had this, and then I can, it should work like this. Can you see it?
We see, yes, excellent.
Perfect. First of all, it's wonderful seeing so many dear colleagues that have joined this conversation today. Yes, my name is Derviš, and I work for the Department for Sustainable Development of the city of Sarajevo. And in that department, we have realized and we have decided that working on strengthening the inclusion of people from marginalized groups is one of our main priorities. And we have recently been implementing several projects with this specific focus. I'm an archaeologist, so as an archaeologist and someone who comes from culture heritage sector, I must say I was honored to have been given the chance to present the article for this publication, and I was very impressed with the other articles, which helped me and the department I work in, my colleagues in the department, to better understand how our work to strengthen inclusivity in the culture sector is a part of a wider effort within the cultural sector on all levels. I will just take a moment to say it's especially wonderful to listen to dear colleagues from the Museum of History, which are one of the partners in this initiative I will tell you a little bit more about. And as you could see, their work to create inclusive museum spaces has been continuous and is very impressive. And we had a lot to learn from them during our project. So let me see. I will tell you, so today I will tell you something about this initiative called Inclusion in Balkan Museums, or the EVA project. This initiative is a collaborative effort of the city of Sarajevo and the city of Podgorica, which joined hands with the city museums Sarajevo, the museums of literature and performing arts of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the History Museum of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the museums and galleries of Podgorica. And the aim was to improve inclusivity in museums across Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro, thus ensuring that culture spaces are welcoming for all visitors, particularly individuals with disabilities. It is a project supported by UNESCO and funded by the European Union through the Culture and Creativity for the Western Balkans project. And it focuses on modernizing museum practices, training staff, and introducing new technologies to create a sustainable model of inclusivity. So let me tell you a little bit more about how EVA is transforming museums into spaces that truly belong to everyone. So the initial step in this initiative was in identifying and analyzing the current situation in museums. And from the start, it was readily apparent that despite their crucial role in preserving cultural heritage, many museums in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro still struggle to provide an equal experience for all visitors. The key challenges we identified back then include limited financial and human resources, making it difficult to implement accessibility measures, outdated equipment, as well as infrastructure, which restricts engagement for people with disabilities, lack of inclusivity training for museum staff, which leads to barriers in visitor interaction, and crucial absence of clear accessibility policies, which prevents museums to develop structured solutions from all of these listed problems. And to address these issues, through EVA, we have been working with local governments, cultural institutions, and as well as educators to create a sustainable framework for inclusive museum management. So the EVA is a project structured around 4 key objectives. And the first one is institutional cooperation, through which museums and local governments in Sarajevo and Podgorica have been working together to build an inclusive cultural network. The second objective is development of educational initiatives through training programs developed with the Association of Special Educators called STOL from Sarajevo, and the aim was to help museum staff learn how to better accommodate visitors with disabilities. The third objective is technological integration. As right now, museums included in the project are adopting modern tools like VR headset and interactive digital exhibits to create more accessible experiences. And the fourth objective is developing innovative museum souvenirs, having in mind that designing inclusive souvenirs and adapted gift shop spaces to ensure accessibility is a significant part of a visitor experience. A core component of strategy in this project is the General Museum Inclusivity Plan, which is a structured roadmap that outlines clear steps for museums to become more inclusive. And each of these elements I listed, they contribute to making museums more welcoming and sustainable for diverse audiences. I will shortly present what each one of them entails. So I will start with this General Museum Inclusivity Plan, which is sort of a baseline. It is a foundation of EVA's efforts to bring lasting change to museums, both in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in Montenegro. It was developed in collaboration with, as I said, Association of Special Educators and Rehabilitators, STOL, ensuring in that way that the plan incorporates expert perspectives on accessibility and inclusivity. So the first step was analysis, and after analysis of the current state in each of the museums that are partners of the project, the plan was tailored to their specific context and their needs. And it focuses on several important aspects. Physical accessibility improvements, which consider adapting museum spaces for wheelchair users, individuals with mobility challenges. Then training programs for museum staff, through which it is ensured that employees understand the needs of visitors with disabilities and can communicate effectively. Inclusive exhibition design, which incorporates tactile exhibits, braille descriptions, and assistive listening devices, and use of digital technology, including VR experiences and multimedia guides, which will help engage visitors who may not be able to access all parts of the museum. So unlike short-term projects, the plan is designed to ensure continuous improvements in museum accessibility and inclusivity, hopefully making it a model that can then be replicated across the region. A key focus of EVA is training museum staff to better serve diverse audiences. One major milestone of the project was a 3-day training session held for the staff of the museums participating in the projects, led also by educators from STOL. And the training covered understanding accessibility challenges and how to address them in specific museum settings. Then using sensitive language, which is very important, and appropriate communication methods with visitors with disabilities. Also, the training covered developing museum spaces that are more welcoming and interactive. And the sessions were hybrid, combining online and in-person learning to ensure maximum participation. These efforts helped museum professionals embed inclusivity into their daily work. At the start of the project, we identified that technology could play a vital role in making museums more inclusive. As part of EVA, these museums, partners of the project, are integrating modern digital tools to improve visitor engagement. And through EVA, VR headsets, which is the keystone, are being introduced for the first time, allowing visitors with mobility impairments to explore exhibits virtually through specially developed software. But headsets are just the start, as we see a lot of potential to further expand the use of technology in museum settings through things such as multimedia guides, which could provide audio description and sign language translation for exhibits, or perhaps interactive displays to make information more engaging and accessible. We believe that by combining traditional exhibitions with digital enhancements, museums are creating spaces that are not just informative, but also immersive and inclusive. One exciting for us and symbolic, in a way, element of the project is the development of Inclusive Museum Souvenir, which is in its final stages, and they aim to reflect cultural heritage while being accessible to all visitors, ensuring representation of diverse groups within museum products, and also, importantly, creating a sustainable way to enhance the museum experience. These souvenirs, they will be designed to accommodate visitors with visual or physical impairments. They're created using both modern and traditional crafting techniques, representing diverse artistic influences, and they will be displayed in specially adapted souvenir shop spaces, which are being worked on right now. A key highlight of the project is Museum Inclusiveness Day, which will be held in autumn this year, when these souvenirs, as well as the catalog of all the museums partnering in the project, will be officially launched in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro, showcasing, in a way, IVA's commitment to inclusivity. But the IVA project, as we envisioned, it is not just a short-term initiative. It's laying groundwork for long-term change. So the commitment from Sarajevo and Podgorica ensures that the project's impact extends beyond these 12 months of the project. And the future efforts that we already have in mind will focus on expanding inclusivity models to other museums in the region, integrate inclusivity into cultural policies at all levels, and ensuring continuous training for museum staff. With support from European cultural networks, such as this one we are joining today, IVA will hopefully serve as a replicable model for museums across the Balkans and beyond. And to conclude, IVA is a step forward in making museums in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro more inclusive. Through strategic partnerships, education, technology, creative influences, we are creating cultural spaces that truly belong to everyone. We believe that museums must be the places where all individuals feel valued and represented, regardless of ability. Through its general museum inclusivity plan, training programs, technology integration, innovative souvenirs that I told you about, IVA is setting a standard for is setting a new standard for accessibility, but it's just the beginning. By continuing to collaborate, innovate, and advocate for inclusivity, we can ensure that museums truly belong to everyone. Thank you. I hope I fit into the time frame, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Derviš, and do keep us in the loop for these future activities that you're planning in terms of Museum Inclusiveness Days in the autumn and promotion of the souvenir. I will be shameless to advertise also the Balkan Museum Network Award for the Best Museum Souvenir. We already gave it once because we believe that souvenirs are such a good representation of crafts and the values embodied in culture heritage objects. So we are also, by giving a word, kind of stimulating museums to be more creative in thinking in interdisciplinary production of souvenirs, what functions they can serve, except generating income for museums in terms of souvenir shops. We have one question for you in the chat. Lucerita is thanking you for the interesting presentation and thinking, do you think contemporary artistic forms can contribute to the topic of inclusivity? I think the creative industries have the potential to leverage many aspects in this area. Do you have any direct experience with this, such as your collaboration with designers for souvenirs?
Yes, it's a very interesting question, and these souvenirs, even though it might seem as a symbolic element of this project, having in mind the extensive work that was done on creating the plan, this inclusivity plan, working on these trainings, and trying to disseminate all of this information. You know, these souvenirs were sort of a symbolic culmination of it, but we see it as a small token of that will represent our efforts that we have done in this previous year, and that will hopefully serve as a reminder that, you know, it is important to focus on inclusivity in this cultural sector. In spite of it being a small part of the project, it has been a challenge trying to integrate these traditional and contemporary artistic elements, and the biggest advantage was working with artists, working with contemporary artistic forms, as they were very willing to adapt their artistic forms outside of the traditional artistic norms to what is needed to create such a souvenir that will, you know, fully represent all of the objectives of the project. So it was something that enabled us. So contemporary artistic forms enabled us to create a souvenir that I did not have, you know, the permission to reveal it yet today. It's not completely finished, but hopefully very soon we'll have the chance to show you how these contemporary artistic forms were materialized within this souvenir.
Thank you very much, Derviš. And of course, we will share email addresses, and I invite you to read the full article about the EVA project and also to stay connected. As I said, we will soon have the call for the award, the Best Museum Souvenir Award. So maybe, Lucerita, you will have some examples there to nominate. But because of the time and love of our backs, I would like us to go to the final presentation. Last but not least, we have a special treat for you. It's an example which is not in the publication. We had the honor of meeting Tudor Paul Scripor only in November last year. So his example called From Dots to Dialogue, bringing perception, art, and human connection. Listen to it very carefully because it's not presented in the publication. And Tudor is an inventor, accessibility consultant, advocate for inclusive innovation. He developed this Scripor alphabet that he will present to us today. So thank you, Tudor, for being with us and sharing your innovative idea how we can work with making museums, but also, you know, dialogue about culture more inclusive. The floor is yours.
Hello, thank you, Aida, for this wonderful introduction. Hello all, I'm very happy and inspired to be here with you. As Aida said, I'm an innovator. At the base, I'm an art teacher, and 12 years ago, a blind student attended to my class, and he told me something incredible. They don't have a common language to know the colors. So after 7 years, I create a color code, a universal color code. It's very similar with Braille. And now all the visual impaired can have access to colors. And one of the best example is right here in front of me. It's a Rubik cube, and I'm very happy to share this news for you. We have a blind student who can make and resolve this color cube in less than 3 minutes. As an art teacher, museums are very close to my heart. So I want to present the first exhibit, which is accessible for the blind. And 2 years ago, I think 3 years ago, me and the team of artists in Cluj-Napoca, I'm located in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. We organize an art exhibit and invite blind community to attend. As the previous speakers mentioned, the museums were not accessible for them, and the art is not accessible for them. And we are here all to change this. So 3 years ago, we invite the blind community to attend to a fully accessible exhibit. And I will show you some pictures. Let me see. Please tell me if you see my screen.
Not yet.
Now?
Not yet.
Or can I ask you, Aida, to show the PowerPoint what I just sent it to you, please?
Here it is.
Yes, this is the Museum of Art in Cluj-Napoca, and you will see some white canvas. It was like manifest that this is how looks art for the blind. Next picture, please. There are some pictures in the museum, and we chose very, very simple pieces of art. You see some colored circles, and nearby there are the similar scale, similar paintings, but with that dots on it. Please, the next picture. And here is an abstract famous painting from our museums. It's one-to-one, but the white one, it's like on 3D and have the color information on it. These blind individuals, what you see in the picture, started to explore and then started to cry. And they said, for the first time, I come in the museum, and now the art, it's accessible for me, and it's incredible what opportunity we have. Please, the next picture. This is how the exhibit looked like, or at least a part of exhibit. The original and the copy. So this is one of my example and my practical applicability of the Scripor alphabet in the art and culture. And many times I talk with the people and I tell them that colors, the information of colors is very different than textures. And thank you for being here with you. Please send me, I will leave my email, my website, and if you think that my system can empower your activities, please feel free to connect with me and share experiences. Thank you once again for being invited with you.
Thank you, Tudor. And because I'm a famous person that explains the jokes and that likes to summarize, I just, for the sake of just emphasizing the brilliance of your idea, say that you managed to give a symbol for every color, and that when people are touching this 3D model, they also find the braille. And then in the map, they know which color. So they know that this shape is red, this shape is blue, this shape is green, because they have this legend that they can refer. So touching and visualizing how these colors actually look in their mind, right?
Exactly. Practically, the language barrier was down, and we implement the color code in many domains. Just imagine fashion, socks, on the socks in the morning. They cannot identify or match the socks. Now we resolve this problem, and as I mentioned before, one of my closest domains, it's museums and art.
It was really, really wonderful performance, if I can say, with the white canvases, just drawing attention of us public. If you are blind person, this is how the museum looks to you, just sheets of white canvases. Like, what was media reaction? Was there some, coverage of media in Romania?
Well, that exhibit have the record of visitors in the opening, but it was a Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then in Saturday and Sunday, a lot of blinds asked me to attend to me and to the personnel of the museums to be guided and visit the museum. Many, probably almost all, for the first time in their lives.
Yes, we hear a lot of these first-time stories that museums were just a mystery. It's something which was not welcoming. And in the chat, Tudor, if you see, a lot of people are congratulating you and telling you, wow, what an inspiration and beautiful presentation. And thank you for sharing and congratulations for everything. Thank you for sharing. And we have also sharing that I have a colorblind family member. I know Tudor's work can have many users. So people with personal family members immediately see this, how it is improving the quality of life and how it's really influencing. So there are some also, I think, congratulations, and hope I will hear and learn more about it. It's very impressive. Very interesting in how colors are perceived not only by sight but also by hearing, the great relationship between color and sound. Ioana from the Association of Libraries says, I'm impressed. But maybe, Ioana, you want to unmute yourself now. We are in. She says that the tactile alphabet created by you is really promising, and she would like to congratulate you and wish you the best in the future. Tudor has shared the link to his website, so feel free to imagine possibilities and applications with him. Try to think about your own collections and your own visitors and what can be done with this new language of colors for the blind and visually impaired. We are 35 people after 2 hours, so it means that this topic is really important for you. And thank you for having a commitment for this topic. We are a community of heritage professionals who learn from each other and inspire each other, and we will continue with webinars like this. the tools that are created within the Shift project will be mature. So we will be sharing with you some examples in the next half a year with also our pilots. Does anyone from the presenters want to say something for the end? So we had 6 presentations, and they are different, but also very important to work on different, policy levels, and we have a comment that all the presentations have been relevant. Truly, thank you for that comment, that you feel that it's relevant for your work. You can also leave your written comments in the evaluation form. We have shared the link here in the chat. Something you would like to highlight for this webinar and in terms of topics. Otherwise, once again, sorry for the change of the link, but you've been a star, really brilliant, and all the presenters, warm thank you for volunteering your knowledge and outcomes and giving so generously your experience, because we can only learn from experience of others, but also by testing and trying. With that, and no one eager to say something, I wish you a relaxing weekend, but also don't forget to strike and fight for the better future.
Thank you, Aida, for everything. It was very, very inspiring and a great opportunity to exchange impressions and to see other approaches in terms of inclusion. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Aida. Thank you, team.